We are in the end times, boys. We are in the end times. This is the biggest bombshell of information I think I've ever seen regarding Fortnite, and it could be the most catastrophic thing to ever happen to this game if it is implemented. Fortnite Underground, which is a Fortnite leaks and news platform or community or whatever they are, has stated we can exclusively reveal that Epic Games is in the process of integrating generative AI tools into the development of new Fortnite cosmetics. And I'm telling you, bro, when I saw this on my feed, everybody was freaking out. Even I was like, bro, there is no way that we're going to be getting AI cosmetics in Fortnite. Because I've already been through this before. They're doing it with Call of Duty. I'll put it on screen right now, where literally cosmetics in that game are generated by AI, and they even admit it. They say, yeah, some things are made with AI, and they got absolutely destroyed for doing that, but they don't care. And they still actually make sales because they just come out outright and say, yeah, we're using AI, and like we could start complaining, but people still play the game. They're using AI cosmetics in Battlefield as well. And that even got bad player reception there too, but people don't quit playing the game. They just, that's just how it is. So I'm worried that if they start implementing generative AI tools, the community will get pissed, but they won't change it because it's just saves so much money basically, right? You could generate like a whole bunch of cosmetics, hundreds of cosmetics like this, literally in a couple prompts. And if they start doing this, I will tell you, it will be the downfall of the video game. But here is their official post about it. Fortnite Underground can reveal that Epic Games is in the process of integrating generative AI tools into the development of new cosmetics, a move which has upset some, if not most, of the game's developers. The extent of this integration is unknown. It is said that this will enable Epic to deliver more outfits and collaborations to players that we've seen in previous years, an excuse that is unlikely to satisfy the growing crowd of players who feel the game is already adding too many. I disagree that the game is adding too many cosmetics. I wish there were actually more. I think more cosmetics the better, right? As long as they're not taking that away from the gameplay perspective and, making the gameplay bad, because the cosmetics don't matter if the game is just boring. So they're basing this upon Epic Games, which acquired the studio Mesh Capadade to facilitate character physics works for game developers using Unreal Engine's MetaHuman, not for Fortnite cosmetics. They might be misunderstanding Epic Games, because that's just for character physics. So probably maybe for just like animations and stuff, and maybe for events like the characters moving. They could be using AI for that, which, that's whatever. I mean, it's not a big deal as long as they're not using generative AI, is which most people have a problem with, because AI art and just AI cosmetics in general, they're just so ugly in games. And you could tell like that stuff is being made by AI. It's not even like you have to look at it for a long time. So that was the community note on this. But they also say, to be clear, this information is not simply guesswork based on Epic's acquisition of Mesh Capadade, nor is it related to the addition of the Persona device. This leak comes from sources involved with the development of Fortnite, whom we chose to keep anonymous for their safety. So you can see the conflict right here, where there's this one side saying, no, it's just that they acquired the studio. They're going to be using it for human works. It's not even for Fortnite cosmetics or anything like that. But then Fortnite Underground here says, no, it's from employees at the company. It's from developers who have a good source, a good track record, telling them that, yes, they're going to be using generative AI. I'm going to be honest, like a lot of companies nowadays, these big AAA studio companies are using generative AI tools, and they're saying, yeah, they're going to be using generative AI, and it's not in addition to the Persona device. So I don't know if that's for Fortnite Creative or whatever. I'll try to fact check that right now. It allows to place custom NPCs. So yeah, that's just for the Mesh Capadade. They're saying it's just for that, for like these character movements and stuff, 3D animation. They're basically saying, no, it's for cosmetics, and their developers have been telling that. And they also don't want to leak them because, if their names came out, Epic Games would just fire them, terminate them immediately. So this is honestly crazy, bro. And I want to know, what do you guys think about this down in the comments below? Because once again, if there is AI cosmetics in this game, I'm not going to quit because I'm so addicted, but I'll consider it. I'll consider it, all right. And there's going to be tense pressure. And like I said before, these games have been using AI generative cosmetics, Call of Duty, Battlefield, etc. And the player feedback on it has been terrible. They've been really outcrying for them to remove it, and they don't remove it, and they just double down and they don't respond to players about it, and they just keep using it, and then it just dies down. Like the negativity just dies down and it just becomes a part of the game. And like literally, if you look at the timeline, within 5 to 10 years, if they keep pumping out generative AI cosmetics, people are just going to forget about it, not care. Or as the generation gets older and more kids play the game, they're just not going to tell. And it's just going to be a tool, basically. It's like, oh yeah, they use AI to help them create cosmetics. That's it. They just use AI. Like, it's not that big a deal. They could use AI a little bit here and there. And then that is going to transform into fully AI cosmetics instead of just them, you know, using generative AI to help them. And it's just going to be normal within like 5 to 10 years as tools get stronger and more accurate, where you literally cannot tell they're going to be using it. Like even now, if this is fake or whatever, and like, okay, it's just for the mesh thing, they're not using it for cosmetics, I'm telling you, 5 to 10 years, bro, when these tools get crazy. Like, I'll try to put on screen right now, I saw this new generative AI like maker. Basically, it's from like China or something. It literally looks like a real life fighting movie, bro. They did like a Dragon Ball clip, and I could not tell it was AI. Like, if you like really look at it, you can tell, and look at some details that don't make sense. But like the quality of it literally looks so realistic and so like it was actually made by a human being. So within a decent amount of time frame, I'm telling you, they're going to be using generative AI, and we could complain all we want about it, but it's going to get nowheres because the profits are going to be like freaking record breaking, and they don't have to hire developers, they don't have to hire artists, they don't have to hire concept makers, nothing like that. And they're going to save money from the hiring process. They're going to be saving money from the resources it takes to develop these cosmetics, and honestly, all of that. I'm going to be straight up honest. So it would just be worth it in the long run for them to use generative AI from a company standpoint. And our opinion don't matter as players. Like, literally, as long as we give them money, they can do whatever they want. If they're not making money, then we can decide what they want. But if they're making a record bazillion-dollar profits, then we don't matter as players. I'm going to be honest. So yeah, this conflict between this community post and Fortnite Underground themselves is getting pretty bad. I don't know. I don't know who to believe at this point. I'm really conflicted. I'm on the side of Fortnite Underground. I don't believe the community post saying that, oh, it's just they made the mesh, they acquired the studio mesh for character physics AI. No, I'm telling you, I believe Fortnite Underground because I see other games doing it. I know that AI is so ridiculously important to companies. They're investing bazillions of dollars into it, into AI and AI generation, that it's just plain obvious they're going to be using it in some time. Maybe not now, but I'm telling you, in some years they're going to be using it. And you all come back to this video and you're like, yep, Ludo was right, bro. People are pissed at this. You see people replying to Tim Sweeney is a bald effing idiot. they're going after Tim Sweeney themselves, the CEO of Epic Games, and I don't really blame them. And iTalk says here, if you start using generative AI in outfits, I'm never buying another cosmetic again. You know, his account got banned and he said he wasn't going to buy cosmetics ever again, and then he bought cosmetics again. So he said the same thing when he got banned. It's so funny. You know, he'll buy cosmetics, bro. It's just going to become the norm later in the future. But there is another big piece of information that supports Fortnite Underground's claim. And let me try to find that right here. It's going to be AI generative assets may have already been used in Fortnite's 2024 Marvel season. Community artist Temin Istu, what are these names, bro, pointed out that the stained glass windows found in Castle Doom appeared to have artifacts of AI image generation, though they weren't easily visible in game. And if you take a look at it, it does look pretty suspicious. So you can see a lot of the corners kind of end off weird, and there's like a little bit of smudges going around, and you could write that off as just, you know, that's just how it is, or like the artist, whoever made it, did a bad job or something. But those literally, they do look like results of, you know, AI generation. So it definitely is pretty suspicious there. I'll be putting that on screen. You don't have to come up with your own conclusion down in the comments below. Input says, look, man, the screenshots don't look like AI to me. I'm both an AI hater and a designer. It's slightly sloppy drawing. While some of the artifacts look similar to some AI artifacts, this is what bad cleanup looks like. At very most, it's AI upscaled, but not blah, 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 blah. AI upscaling is another one of those things I really dislike. They did it in a new Plants vs. Zombies game, which everybody hated because it makes it look, it just like craps on the developers and the designers of art, these artists and stuff, because when you AI upscale it, it makes it like literally look like it's generated by AI, and it puts these weird smudges and marks on it that just make it look so ugly. It's like, why are you doing that? It's not even worth it being upscaled. You might as well just have it blurry at that point. It's better than being accused you're using AI, because then your game just gets, you know, dunkered on. Underground says, fully appreciate the analysis. I agree those images aren't conclusive. These are the original assets as is. I think there's some very obvious AI generation here, especially on the first one. So I'm going to put that on screen as well. Yeah, on Dr. Doom there, bro. If you look at his shoulder thing right here, that's suspicious. Why is that not lining up like that? Why is all like when the lines come together, they're kind of smudged in place? If you look down towards his bottom of his, like, what is that, his torso or whatever, it's coming together very weirdly there. His arms are looking there. It's mainly just the soldier patch, the patch thing right here. That's his little what would you, I don't know what you call that. It holds his cloak together there, and that does definitely look like it's generated by AI. And some people are saying that that's not the image in game, which that person just took it from the jam track. So that's obviously a miscommunication on that person. And this whole situation is just so absolutely crazy, bro. It literally blows my mind. I knew this day was going to come. Let's be honest, guys. If you did not know this day was going to come, you've probably been living under a rock, because they're going to be using AI. It's every game nowadays are using AI. It'd be dumb of them for not to use AI, I'm going to be honest. It saves so much money. And they can make cosmetics like this that in the future you won't be able to tell it's from AI. Besides little things, it's not even like it's worth the player positivity, because they see like Call of Duty and Battlefield getting hated on by the players, like I said before, and they continue to do it, continue to save billions of dollars, make billions of dollars, and then over time the player feedback, the negative feedback just kind of calms down and they just get away with it. So let me know down in the comments below, what do you guys think about this? Bro, I don't know. I'm literally bamboozled right now. If they're using generative AI, the game's gonna be in a tricky spot, but I think they'll be all right. We'll just be mad, but they'll be all right.